just heard a whole load of geese going overhead, and I thought, what a perfect time to go ahead and talk about everything wintry. So what to sow out, what to plant and when in your beautiful gardens, so that you have a very successful and abundant Christmas, winter, and the start of next season. Winter is one of those things that we just kind of forget, and we forget how important it is to have a thriving and big garden this time of year. But it is so important, because if you are really pushing this time of year and planting and etc., you will notice that next year is so more less stressful and more exciting, because I feel that in gardening, at the hungry gap, which is kind of like somewhere between February and probably late June, where you don't really have a harvest, can be quite sad or a little bit boring for us, because we're really excited about the season, and really preparing now, hello, can make it really good for when you're in that season, because you'll have lots of things coming in where not very many people do. And what I'm doing right now, I'm going to show you, is, sorry, this stuff is so dusty, so I'm just making myself a little pack of soil so that I can plant out my kale, because I like to do something whilst I talk to you guys. So if you are new, let me know where you're from. I love seeing everyone, you know, where you are and what you're doing. And if you've got any harvests or any success stories in the garden, let us know, because I absolutely love those. My biggest success this year, I have to say, it's probably carrots, because I really struggled with them like for years and years and years. I feel like I've just finally got a sort of hack on them, and now they're like super successful, which is awesome, because they're one of those ones that, these are kale, they're looking so good. They're one of them ones that store super well, and that's one of the big things I'm doing to be really successful this year, and that is making sure that I did lots of crops that I can store over winter. Just behind me you can see I've got absolutely tons just behind there. Do you see them? They're sweet potatoes, and a ton of squash, and I grow those because they're super easy to store over the winter period. But also we're looking for things that are super easy to grow on. That's never a good sign. Over the winter period. And this is kale. Kale really loves the cold, so it's a really good thing to overwinter. It won't grow too much, but next season it will hit the ground running. We've still got a few good months of warmish weather where it will grow some, but then it will just stay like a refrigerator, and it will hit the ground running come spring, which will be amazing. Hello. Oh, hello. Nice seeing you here. How are your chickens? I always see your videos about your chickens are always amazing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I've just started to plant in my garlic, and we got massive garlics this year. I'm thinking next year as well. And I was thinking this when I was, can you hear the geese? They're emigrating. Oh, I love hearing the geese. We live right near some like really big ponds and rivers and things, so they fly over our house all the time, and I just think they're just magical. Good. I'm glad your chickens are doing well. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yes, garlic. And I think the reason that my garlic did so well is because I planted them in a really rich bed of horse manure, but just taking out the ones that, like, you know how you plant more and you have to sacrifice some, don't you? I think it's because I went ahead and done them a foot apart, and I did them 6 inches deep, and I had huge garlic. So I've started to do that now, but it's going to be a massive process for planting my garlic, because it's going to be a whole thing. And I don't know if you guys know this, but to plant your garlic, where you have the bulb like this, you break off the garlic, the bottom is flat, that goes down, and the little tip goes upwards, and lots of people get confused and plant them the other way around. But I planted those up this week. Feels like forever ago, but it was only a few days ago, and I'm super excited to see how well that does. I've moved on to elephant garlic. If has anyone tried elephant garlic, it's brilliant. It makes huge bulbs. Do you plant your garlic at home or at the allotment? So I plant most of it at the allotment because I only have a small space here at the house. So I plant things that just don't grow very well down the allotment, like sweet corn, anything that the rodents really love, because we have a big problem down the allotment with them. What varieties do you grow? So I grow elephant garlic, and I grow another one that's French. It's like French ebony or something like that. I save my seed every single year, so I don't buy it every year. It saves a lot of money because garlic seeds or garlic seed garlic is so expensive, so I just don't buy it. I bought it once, about, this must be the 9th time I've used it, so a good time ago, and I just reuse the bulbs as much as possible. Garlic is a heavy eater. Yes, that is like the best advice there. They love organic matter. They really do. And I really feel that I just didn't understand that enough with my garlic. So when I planted them, I did them a goodly handful of bloodfish and bone. And then when they start coming up, I give them another handful, like a handful for a small area, if you get what I mean, of bloodfish and bone. So it looks like it's almost sandy, the bed. And they absolutely love that. Chicken manure, yes, that's what I did this year. I used chicken manure from my chickens. Produce so much compost. I never understood this until I started having chickens, and like, they're phenomenal at making compost. So I dig out my compost and I put it on my my garden bed. But I go about 2-3 inches deep. And then I bury my garlic deeper than that under the cardboard, and it grows through no problem because you make a little hole in the cardboard. But I find that chicken manure, I don't know, I think it's even better, or chicken compost I should say, is even better than horse manure, especially for things like carrots. Anything that's like got small seeds, I find it just absolutely phenomenal. And you get free eggs. You know, well, free eggs. They are slightly cheaper than what you buy at the supermarket, but they are amazing as well. But it's the compost. You save so much money on compost, man. And you know me, I love saving money just regardless. They'll go to microgreens. I'm not wasting them, don't worry. But yeah, I find that's really good. Anything that loves nitrogen really loves compost. So you've got your chicken manure, you've got your horse manure, I mean, whatever you can get. And I'm like a big fan of anything I can get for free, because you can make allotmenting and gardening super expensive. You could make this like, I mean, I was speaking to someone last year, and they legitly, and I promise you this is true, they spent over £600 on compost. That is so much money to me. Like, that was just bizarre amount of money. Whereas a year for compost, I might spend £15-20 on bags of compost to do seeds in, but not very much more than that. Because I make so much compost, I have the chickens, I also have friends that have horses, and basically anything like that. To be honest, I don't live in a like country, I don't live in the countryside, I live literally in London. But if you drive around near horse stables, even if you go inside, most people will give you horse manure. Like, they'll be happy to give it to you because it's a waste product. Hello from Scotland. How is it in Scotland? I bet it's amazing up north. I bet is it cold? Is it snowy? I don't know very much. I've been to Scotland once, and I went to Glasgow, and it was so beautiful and clean. Like, I couldn't get over how beautiful it was. We were like, it's so clean, I could eat my dinner off the floor there. It was so nice. But I'm from London, so it's a little bit grim. Look at those, aren't they beautiful? I actually got these, and this is a good tip as well, I got these from a seed saving site. Listen to that alliteration. And it's a really great way of getting cheap seeds, but also giving giving back to the community, because you can get like really rare and sometimes even like one of a kind seeds, plant them, and then you send some seeds back the next year, and it keeps them, you know, in circulation, which is super cool. Not just getting things from the main box stores. Means that you can try more varieties, and I believe this kale is called meadow kale, and it's got huge leaves on it. It's really quite nice. I'm just gonna go ahead, and all I'm doing, the secret to kale is really getting it firmly into the soil, because it likes to have its roots really kind of squished, a little bit like, you know, those weighted blankets that make you feel snuggly. That's what all brassicas, that's kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, they all love it. Oh, it's cold today. Yeah, it's cold here too. It's beautiful trees. The trees are just, they're my favourite thing to look at. They're just so gorgeous this time of year. I find myself just lost in them. They're so lovely. Yeah, it's raining here as well, yeah. Hello everyone that's coming in. But yeah, it is beautiful. It's a lovely time of year. It's a lovely but sad time of year, because you're a little bit like, oh, the garden's coming to a close. And this year seems to have just raced past me. And now it's autumn. It's beautiful. It's like you're wearing jumpers and like coffee and things like that. I love pumpkin spice, but it feels like the summer kind of came and saw and was conquered in a very short amount of time. I think the summer's getting quicker and quicker each year, which is a little bit sad, but also autumn is just amazing, isn't it? It's so nice getting all your harvest in, and we're almost at the point now where all of our harvest is in. I'm waiting on my parsnips because I want it to be hit by a few frosts so they sweeten up. But really, apart from a couple of beetroots, that's all I've got to left to harvest, and some tomatoes. Just found your channel. Oh, lovely. Thank you. I'm glad you're liking it. We also do long form videos. I do a couple of shorts. And then I just do like this sort of live chat every week. But it does bounce around a little bit for when I can do, just based on like what my family's doing, if you get what I mean. It's hard to keep everything perfect when you've got little kids. My son's teething, and if you are a parent, you understand the true pain of a teenager, of a teething child. So this one is cabbage. I love cabbage. I'm super excited about them this year. And next year is definitely the year of the cabbage, because I've grown so many of them. But it's going to be nice because I want to have a lot of fermented cabbage, and it's really healing for your gut. So I'm going to be super excited about having that, and, you know, really getting into fermenting again. Every couple of years, I really grow a ton of cabbages and make a load of sauerkraut, and it lasts forever in the fridge, and it's so good for you. We have it in sandwiches and things. This soil is so cold. So I'm just popping it in. So it'll be really quite lovely to have all of these cabbages coming out later on in the season, particularly next year. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I always double sow my seeds. So what I'm doing is I'm just picking the strongest of the two. And then what I'll do is I'll just chop the end off of that and use it like in a sandwich or something later on. And yeah, I am one of them people. It's like busy all day, sandwich for dinner. It's all right. We had a big tea for lunch. So what are you guys growing this time of year? Is there anything that you are putting in the ground or planting out or anything like that? Or are you more of a frost tender flower and prefer to only do sowing and growing over the summer period? Which one are you? I like all year round. I feel like it gives me another bite of the apple, so that I'm not so stressed out if something fails. In the summer, then I know, oh, I've got winter and spring, and my Brussels sprouts are looking amazing. And if you don't like Brussels sprouts, me too. I don't like Brussels sprouts, but my daughter loves them, so I grow them every single year. And to be honest, I eat them because you know, they're there, and they're not so bad if you have them like in like a stir fry. Quite like them like that. I just picked the last of my tomatoes. Wow, it's amazing though. Did you have a good tomato year? I have to say, we've done amazing. We've got so many tomatoes on the canning shelves. What are you growing in the greenhouse? I'm growing in my greenhouse carrots, lettuce, and some radish. The radish is basically over, and I used the radish to line where I sowed the rest of the stuff, because I find that if I don't do that, I get a bit confused and end up walking on them or whatever. So I did that with the radish, and it's worked out really well. The radish has come out about that big, lovely. Jasmine loves radish, so it's worked out really well. And what I'm going to do is, I've got tons of lettuce, sort of I sowed a little bit after the lettuce that's in there. So when I'm pulling out the radish, I'm going to be putting this lettuce in there so that there's never a gap. And I find that carrots do really well in the greenhouse too. And they're going to be up and out of the way before I go ahead and plant anything in there next year. And I'm probably going to do sweet potatoes next year, which I'm super excited about, in the greenhouse, because they did so well this year. I had a better onion harvest. Fantastic. What do you think you did differently to make your onion harvest so good this year? That's what I always think to myself. It's like, yes, I did a great thing. Oh, my onions were amazing. I have to show you. It's my food store here. That's just a random onion. Look at the size of it compared to my head. Like, that's a big onion, isn't it? You know, I'm well proud of these this year. Between me and you, do I need an onion this size? No, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I want an onion this size just to show off. And I mean, there are a few that are even bigger than this one, but they're very good for canning, because you just grab one onion instead of loads of little ones. And who likes peeling onions? You know, I always end up teared up about them, but they're absolutely epic this year. Make sure that you grow some Brussels sprouts for your sister. That is my sister, by the way. She is my admin, and she's an amazing person. I have to say that because she has control of the channel right now. But yeah, she's amazing, and I guess you can have 1 or 2 Brussels sprouts. I grow them from old skins. Wow, that's that. Oh, in an old tin. Oh, my reading. In an old tin. Is that one of those butler sinks? We had loads of those in the garden when we first moved in to do herbs and stuff in. They're like really so fashionable nowadays to have in your kitchen. I desperately wanted one. They're gorgeous. That's amazing. I wonder if it's because they're like holding the moisture maybe. I'm not sure. I know that they are amazing for sewing. Look at that. They're looking good. I'm going to label them because I will forget. Planning on sorting out my polytunnel and getting some lettuce sown. Wonderful. What did you sow in your polytunnel in the summer? I've grown in my greenhouse. I've grown tomatoes, but they kind of went out. They grew more leaf than tomatoes. I grow my tomatoes outside, I know. And I grew aubergine, which didn't do very well. I grew peppers, which were okay. So I feel like I'm like missing out on the sort of greenhouse buzz. I need to get better at it. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I wonder why it made them so good. I bet there's like a technique or something in it. I'm gonna have to look into it. But yeah, lettuce is fantastic to grow this time of year because it doesn't bolt, which means go to seed. And if it's not going to seed, it means it grows kind of bigger, and because of the amount of rain, it's not bitter. I can't bear bitter lettuce, and I'm not a real big fan of lettuce. Well, you can tell, right? And I find if it's bitter, it's harder to eat. But my husband and my kids just absolutely love lettuce. Jazz will eat like, you can't give her too much lettuce. She'll just eat all of it. So I do grow it, and it is really good for you. So obviously that's, so I'm just going to reach here for another container. And but yeah, I used to always struggle to grow it because it used to go to seed and it used to taste horribly bitter. And it's because it was too dry and because it was too warm. So it doesn't like those two conditions. So autumn, winter is the best time to grow lettuce. Oh, obviously, and the spring, really early spring. all sorts, peppers. Oh, wow, lovely. And they all went crazy, fantastic. You know what? I think I'm going to have to rethink about my peppers. This year I planted them too late because I ended up losing all my peppers because I brought a tree that I'd ripped out of the ground from Jasmine's little area, and I brought it into my grow tent, and the grow tent got absolutely infestated. Is that a word? With green fly, and it just completely killed everything in there. I was absolutely gutted. So I had to re-sow everything like late, and I mean late March, and I kind of always had the back of my mind, I was like, do I really need to start my peppers so early? And now I know I really do need to start my peppers so early. So it's kind of like a lesson, but I'm glad that it happened because I learnt something. But really, I'd prefer it not to happen. Do you see what I mean? If that makes sense. But yeah. I'm glad your peppers went well, though. My favourite pepper variety, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I haven't ever beaten California Wonder. California Wonder, I know it's boring, okay? I understand that. But California Wonder for me, it's always a pepper that just does so well with, like, very little effort to it. And I wouldn't say I'm the best at growing peppers, but if I do California Wonder, it outcompetes all of the other peppers, hands down. And it produces huge, big, like, I'm talking like this big peppers, green peppers. And I tried to get lots of them red. And this year I got more red than I did previously. But if you just leave them, pick them green, you get tons of huge green peppers, which I have to say, tastes a lot better than the ones you get in the supermarket, because the ones in the supermarket are quite bitter. If you home grow them, they don't seem to be bitter at all. They're actually really nice and sweet. So that was a... Did you see that? I dropped it. That was a pleasant surprise. Hi, it's not Zed. Oh, dear. But yeah. So my main thing this year is to flip round my beds and get them covered in manure, which is a bit of a tall order with the kids and everything, but it's going well so far. I am about one bed down. Something's eaten that one. Look, it's been completely eaten. Do you see that? Bet it's a slug or a snail. They're terrible this time of year because of the rainfall. The rainfall gets them really riled up and gets loads of slugs and snails, etc., into the garden. And because it's so dark, you don't necessarily see them. You're not spending so much time outside in the garden. These have germinated so well. I'm like pulling out so many of them. When they're old seed, I go ahead and I plant 2 to 3 in a hole, and then I just pull out all of the weak ones and leave with the strongest ones. And I mean, the germination of them have been absolutely epic. These are, from memory, I believe that they are called early April, and they're like a conical shape, so a pointed lettuce, and they grow really well over winter and produce some really nice heads for spring. Really sweet ones. These are actually my favourite. This and early Durham, and it's April, sorry. These are my favourite lettuces to grow. I really enjoy overwintering them because I think you should get a better flavour. Am I from... Oh! This is going well, isn't it? Am I from Belfast? No, I'm from London. I've always been told that I've got a very London sort of accent. I'm on the Essex side of London. So I sound like... Was it Only Fools and Horses? We're going to be a millionaire this time next year. I love that programme. Look. You can see, look, compared to these, I know they're a bit wobbly over, but look how small that one is. So we don't want to be putting that in because it's not going to be strong enough. But yeah, these ones are going to be planted out and they're going to be absolutely gorgeous when they're finished. But it's all about making sure that they're big enough when you go out. Secret to putting out cabbages, making sure they have four leaves, true leaves, not the baby leaves. So these are baby leaves here. They're just called seed leaves. And then this is a true leaf. Okay, so it actually looks like the thing you're growing. And once you've got 4 of those in there, plant them out, and they look really weedy and pathetic, but they're the best way to get them out, so they're super strong and happy to be in the elements. And what I do is I'll put something over them to protect them from the cold weather and the cold nights and the winds and things, so that they have the best start possible to the season. That's what I want for them. And you kind of have to have in the back of your mind that about 30% of everything you grow could possibly, hopefully not, but possibly be attacked by, you know, things that live in your garden. And if you don't have things that eat your crop in the garden, then you're not in the ecosystem, you know. And we don't use any pesticides or anything like that. So we do have a few nibbles here and there, but to be honest, I net them once they go out, and they're absolutely fine like that. Nothing really bothers them too much. We do have a little bit of slug damage, but nothing that we really have to be concerned of. So, but now it's winter, the thing that we really, really struggle with is pigeons. Oh, pigeons. I'm telling you, if you have your cover blown off your brassicas, like your cabbages or broccoli or whatever, they will strip your plants down in minutes. They are absolutely ravenous this time of year, because obviously there's not very much for them to eat, bless them. So that's happened to me, where I've had a cover blown off and literally came back and they were like twigs just left in the ground. Absolute heart-wrenching, particularly if it's like, you know, your Brussels sprouts just before Christmas. But it happens, and we live and we learn, don't we? And we learn from it. Look how small it looks in that little pot. So cute. Oh dear, these are going to be absolutely huge soon. I'm hoping that they get like a goodly size on them before it gets too cold here. And to be honest, we're still having like nights around about 10. We're not getting much close to that. We're quite a while off of our first frost yet. Our first frost normally comes at the end of October, but it is a little bit warm still for like this time of year. Don't get me wrong, this week has had a downturn in the weather, and it has become a little bit cold, but it's still doing really well. This is just such rubbish compost, look. So I normally get my compost from the allotment, and look at that. I got this from, I can't remember where. Asda, it says on the bag, and look at that. That's not compost, is it? That looks like MDF or something, and it's absolutely full of it. Just shows you get what you pay for, isn't it? But there was no compost down my allotment, so I just grabbed whatever was available. Do better, Asda. That's more of a mulch than a compost, isn't it? But they're growing in it fine. It's just not been broken down for long enough. What I've done with this compost, because it's a bit rubbish, I've put some of the vermiculite. I have a stutter, and every so often it kind of kicks up. But yeah, I put some vermiculite in it, and I've done about 1 part vermiculite to 2 parts compost, which sounds really complicated. But if you've got a pot, you put 2 in a compost and 1 in vermiculite and stir it around, and it works out really light and fluffy. And what you're looking for is, if you crush it, it fluffs back just like that. That means that this won't be too hard for your little seedlings or even your little plants to push their roots through. If you do have like compost that you push and it stays like a little ball, then you do need to put some like vermiculite in it. It's super cheap. I got, so a bag like this, I'll show you. A bag like this, or 2 of those for 20 quid. And that bag will last me like a year, probably over a year. I think I've been using that for 2 years now, and I've just bought another lot because it's like at the bottom of the bag, so they're not that expensive. I got them off eBay. Love an eBay. Yeah, it looks like the stuff you get in the loft, doesn't it? It really does. It's like fluffy. Look at that. Not all not all compost is made equally. These are my spring onions. Look how nice they look. I always get nervous growing spring onions throughout the year as well, because someone said to me about white mold. White rot, that's the one. And when I first got my allotment, I had terrible white rot. Oh my days, the white rot was really bad. Like, you couldn't grow anything in there. But I switched to, I switched the allotment to growing completely, utterly, no dig, disappeared after like 1 or 2 seasons, because you're continuously layering up the compost. It completely went away. I've had no problems, and I've not really had any problems with things like blight, any sort of root soil borne illness. No problem since I've moved to no dig. And my allotment is roughly about 75 years old, so I must have had it for like what, 4 or 5 years now. So 70 years of digging and etc. and using chemicals to me doing no dig. It's made such a big difference in just a relatively short amount of time, and I just don't have those issues anymore, which I'm so thankful for. The biggest issues I have at the moment, I'm just taking the seed tops off of them. And the biggest problem I have at the moment is mice, rats, which you're going to get because I've got chickens. And I have an issue with rabbits. And I swear, these rabbits that I have are so smart. Every time I fix the fence, they find a new way in. But hey ho, look at them. They look amazing. They always get the seed cap stuck on, and you can just pull it off like this. Does it affect them? Not massively, but I find it's like a little bit heavy for them, so they don't stand up as straight. So they're a little bit like finicky, if that's a word. But you got to be careful because you pull them out. You can eat them as a green though, and they do taste delicious. All right. It is now 6 o'clock, so I'm going to have to go and do bedtime. And thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me today. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you. I hope your gardens are amazing. Bye-bye. Bye.